As you know, I was a mime with Matt, and we got a lot of very strange gigs. One of them was for some celebrities to accompany them on a party bus from one venue to the other venue where they were performing. This is really, really weird. Why they wanted mimes, I don't know. It was just so strange. Well, they were stand-up comedy comics, these people. So, boy, talk about like the best of the best, trying to entertain the best of the best, that is. That's tough. You know that TV show Flight of the Conchords? You know the girl Mel, the really kind of awkward character, and she kind of, chin is in like this, and she kind of, yeah, that was her. We performed for her. It was a very, very nice girl, very sweet. Matter of fact, she wanted us to stay around and said, can the mimes come with us? And they're like, no, they can't come. She was like, oh, well, it was great to meet you guys. And she hugged us and everything. To this day, she has no idea what our voices sound like, because from the very start to the very end, we didn't say a word. Well, we showed up to this venue in Seattle, in a small little theater space, a bunch of comics there, these guys just kind of hanging around, guys and girls hanging around, really nice people. But we were hanging out in the green room, getting all stretched out and limbered and whatnot. By the way, mime is very physically taxing. You are drenched in sweat by the end. And so it took a little bit to find some good grease paint that stays on regardless of how much you sweat. I know that sounds really gross, sweaty mimes, but really it's just physically exhausting. Mostly because you're not saying anything. Normally when you exert energy, you can say something like, whoa, like in martial arts, that's called a ki. In mime, you can't say anything, so you have to tense your body, but just kind of swallow that sound. By the way, when I'm miming, I don't know if I've ever told anyone this before, but I click, I snap with my tongue. So you can't hear it, but I can hear it because it's inside my head. But I do that when I do the wind up and snap and then release. So wind up, snap, release. And to keep me snapping, to have kind of an audio cue so I can go by it, I do this click with my tongue. That was kind of exaggerated. Even then, you probably couldn't hear it. So anyway, that's what I do, and we didn't say anything the whole time. We went to the Neptune Theater on this party bus. The bus itself was, I'll be honest with you, a little worrisome, because when we stepped on board, it was, by the way, it was one of those buses, like a shuttle bus, as if you were at an airport or something. One of those smaller buses, not like a school bus. But the first time we stepped on, the guy who was the driver was really nice, and there were lights everywhere on this bus, and there was not kidding you, a stripper pole on this bus, right in the middle of the hallway right there. We were like, did they think that we were actually strippers? Why did they hire us? Of course, we're communicating this via our eyesight. We just kind of both looked at this stripper pole and just kind of went and then looked at the other person. I think this will turn out okay. So of course you could totally use that as a prop when you're miming on a bus. Now, by the way, I've mimed in so many different places. I've pantomimed on the streets of Seattle, at Pike Place Market, walking around on streets in Spokane, even in Paris, France, when I went there on a cool school trip. I've mimed a lot of places, but the most challenging of these places was on a party bus. It was so cool. It was so much fun. We got paid a little bit, and to this day, I will never forget the moment when we were standing outside of this theater, and these passerby were walking by and whatnot. They were just enthralled with us, and they all took out their cell phones. Now, there's a pretty big Asian demographic here in Seattle, and so they're all Asian. They all took out their tiny little phones, like the size of my thumb, and they were filming. Like, all of them were filming. It's like, come on, people. Stop recording and just enjoy the show. But you don't say that. Whatever. They want to film it, put it on YouTube. Cool. They're filming like this, and then I stopped our sketch halfway through, and I turned to everybody, and I made this motion. Rotated my whole hand 90 degrees, and all of them, it's almost as if I was controlling them with puppet strings. All of them went from here to film horizontally. Which, by the way, if you have a smartphone, stop filming vertically. Film horizontal. That is how we have filmed and taken pictures from the dawn of time. Landscape. That is video. If you want to take photos, you can take portrait photos all day long. But video, landscape. Not portrait, landscape. So I don't know why I remember that in particular from that time outside that theater. But it was just this moment that I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to lecture these people. Even if I can't talk, I will lecture them with pantomime.